Page 78, Boogie Baby, a boogie woogie. A style of music similar to a ragtime piece or there's a lot of different waltzes and minuets or types of music. Well, boogie woogie is too. On page 77, they give a couple of little examples of boogie woogies. And the first one, just a little bit of a boogie. It's typical of a boogie woogie in the left hand. This pattern is what we're after here. You get this pattern a lot, or similar patterns to it. This pattern, yeah, you get that a lot in boogie woogies. So that first boogie woogie, now they're swinging this one. Some boogie woogies are swung, the rhythm is swung, 1 and 2 and 3, long, short, and others, they're straight. So I don't automatically swing a boogie woogie rhythm. I only do it when they tell me to here. And they usually end on a dissonant chord, like blues or jazz will end on a dissonant chord, and that's what this is, the C7 chord. We'll get into those later. It's this chord. It's a very dissonant chord here. Yeah, we get into those a little later, maybe. That's just an example of a boogie woogie type pattern. I enjoy boogie woogies very much. At the bottom of the page, on page 77, they give another example of boogie woogie pattern for usually the left hand here. And up here. And you can play it anywhere. Generally, it'll be like an ostinato thing where it just keeps going. Yeah. That pattern. So you'll see these in boogie woogies quite a bit. Just watch the fingering. Using third here and then 2 here. I don't want to use 3 on both. It's extremely dangerous and not a very good fingering. So use 2, 3 on that. Anyway, now let's get back to this baby thing and see what we get. At the top of the page, they're introducing you to an interval of a sixth. I don't see the point, but they're doing it okay. I've already introduced you to all the intervals. Just count up. Any interval doesn't matter. However, in music, you can learn to recognize them. Well, you recognize them all eventually. Remember, a fifth is line, line, or space, space, and there's a line or space in between. Well, a sixth is similar to a fourth, and that one note is on a line and the other is on a space, or whichever. For instance, look on measure 5. In the upper staff, you have a C and an A. Well, that's a sixth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the C's on a line and the A's in a space. And you'll recognize these two. Just one more than 5 is no big deal. Okay. I'll look it over. It's 4 lines long. Treble, bass, clef, 4/4 time signature, a bunch of quarter notes, half notes, whole notes. We have some dotted rhythms, some dotted quarter notes. I got to deal with those. And some accidentals. You'll see a lot of accidentals in blues, swing, and jazz type music. Yeah. Right hand first. Let's make sure we got the right hand okay. You're starting out here. C position. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And for the next measure, you want to be here. It's not really here. You're staying here. The thumb stays there. The hand moves up. That's all. But you're going to keep the thumb where it is, because in the third measure, we need this again. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and during the rest, you're coming up. And then the fourth measure, third finger's on E, so use it on E flat. Then we do that. And then measure 5, you back up here again. And then measure 6, 1 and 2 and. Remember the dotted rhythms. The C comes on beat 1. The dot comes on beat 2. And the 8th note then comes on the and of 2. 1 and 2 and. 1 and 2 and 4. So you're kind of in this position. You're going back and forth or here or whatever's needed. The last measure is a D and an F sharp. You're just here. You're in this position. You're just here. Here. Yes, it will sound weird, but it's supposed to. Left hand, well, that has that pattern. The notes are here, but you'll notice underneath the staff there's an 8V8. Remember the rule for 8V8. If it's above the staff, you go up. If it's below the staff, you go down. And sometimes the staff, the indication to go down under the staff, it might be an 8VB. Sometimes they'll use 8VB. Most of the time, it'll be 8V8. It doesn't matter. If it's below the staff, you go down. 1 octave, that's it. So instead of here, we're here. 2, 3, 4. And then for measure 5, the 8V8 goes away, and there's an LOCO. Local, that means play it locally or where it's at. It just means they're just telling you the 8V8 went away. I mean, the fact that the dashed line isn't there anymore is enough. You don't need the local. But there's no harm. It's clear. It's there. And you're back up here. Here. Then in the last line, the 8V8 comes back, and you come back down here. So once I have an idea what the hands are doing separately, I'll put them together. Now, so we're starting here. Now, the left hand's down here, and the right hand went up. E flat. And during this measure, you got to get the left hand up here ready to go. And then here. 1, 2, 3. Measure 5. 1, 2. See, the left hand comes up for measure 6. 1, 2. 1 and 2. And to hold that down, it's a half note. Now in measure 8, E flat. Here. Then they give you natural for the bottom staff. The natural sign isn't needed. It's an E natural anyway, because that flat in the upper staff is only good for that staff. Every staff has to have its own set of markings. But you might think maybe they made a mistake or they missed it, and you might play an E flat anyway because you did, just because you think it might be. So they put the natural sign in there to be clear, and that's a good. If you're writing music and there's some chance you think maybe they'll question what you're doing, put in these courtesy signs. So that natural sign is a courtesy sign. It's just there to remind you it is a natural. That last measure is CG, and it did here. Yes, it's supposed to sound that way. Generally, these boogie woogies, they'll end on a tension. They add the dissonance at the end. Not always. Sometimes they just end with a bang, but here it's tension. Now, once I have the hands working together, then I'll go back over maybe a line at a time or so, and I'll get rid of the hesitations. And once the hesitations are gone, I think about the articulation. And they don't give us any except a few accents. The accents you just play a little louder. Like in measure 6, where just a little louder. Yeah. It's up to you. You get into it and you feel it. You might decide to bounce this, or that is separated. They don't say anything, so it's all up to you and your interpretation. So you experiment. You play it all connected. You play it all disconnected. Some of it is connected, some isn't. You experiment. Try different things out because you'll discover things. Well, I like that sound, and that's something that you can use in another piece then. Now, once I do the articulation, I have the dynamics. MP at the beginning is medium soft, and this is this. This has to be really in the background, especially down here. It's going to be tough because this gets loud. So you have to be really light, really light. In the second line, now you come up to moderately loud. This is still soft. Except that accented note, that takes it up a shot. It's about a moderately soft. And then the last line comes back down to moderately soft. And that last chord, the last measure here, this is going to be both hands because there's no melody, but they're the same and they're kind of on the moderately soft side. Some boogie woogies, when they do these chords at the end, they'll make them loud. Get your attention at the end, wake you up. This one doesn't. It stays soft at the end. Then the speed. Lively. Well, just have fun with it. There's no whatever. I don't know. Lively. And you can, if you want, hang on to that last note. Let it ring out a little while. There's no fermatas on it, but you could pretend there's fermatas. Just 1, 2, 3, 4, and just hang on to that. Let them listen to that mess for a little bit and enjoy it or not, and then let up. Let's play this together slowly to check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not going to do the dynamics. We don't do dynamic. We're not performing. We're just checking notes and rhythms. I'll give us 4 counts. 1, 2, ready, go.